Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you want, and definitely like it, definitely helps us out. And drop a comment below, tell me what you think of the Rock Crusher and the 9.3. All right, welcome back to another video, guys. Here in a nice, beautiful Indiana early spring day. So figured this be a wonderful video and point in time where we're at the build to introduce the rear end. It's pretty special, pretty cool. If you know a lot about the gasser history or even old rails and drag racing back then in general, a lot of guys use the 9.3 inch Pontiac and Olds rear ends. And we ended up picking up a 64 Pontiac 9.3 rear end for the 55. So we ran the numbers, and it's a late 63, which would have been put in the model year early 64. Came out of a 64 Bonneville. Got a open diff 308 open 308 in it. We have a 410 posi unit for it. Sorry for the bad lighting, but here's the well, we're going to paint the housing, but here's the ready to go 410 posi unit for it, which is, this is a date coded 64 as well, which you can tell by this little bump out that it's got right here. Sorry about the wind noise, if there is any. It's a little bit windy out here in the country. I do have a cool list of information about these rear ends that I'll probably go over, because I think a lot of you guys would probably be interested in learning about these things and why they ran them and why they were so cool. And you know, if Pontiac would have kept making these things, I really think these would have, well, they outdid the Ford 9-inch, but unfortunately they just quit making them. And obviously the Ford 9-inch was dominant and is still made and used and reproduced to this day for performance stuff, kind of like the small block Chevy of rear ends. These Pontiacs were pretty beefy all the way around, which is why they ran them. They're pretty awesome. So this thing's in good shape. Just got the drums popped off on it, so we should be able to have those turned. I think they're salvageable. I'm going to go ahead and get all the brake components off of it. And these are coil spring control arm rear end cars. So as you can see, your upper control arms were here, lower control arms there, and then your coil springs right here. And obviously all this crap in the way, we're going to be running leaf springs. So got to remove these mounts, probably leave these honestly. But we'll get all this crap removed to get the brake stuff off of it. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. And once I'm finished with it, my dad will probably start wire wheeling it and get it cleaned up, prepped to come apart and get it painted and all that fancy stuff, and then get our 410 pig in it. Got all our brake stuff off on both sides. This side over here is seized up on a couple little spots, but nothing too bad. We got it. I just pulled the parking brake brackets out and just tossed the bolts back in so we don't misplace them. So now I'll probably go ahead and get the coil spring perches cut off, get that out of the way. Guys, got that one all cut off. Just got to smooth out the top still. Ran out of grinding wheels, so got to go pick some up in the morning and probably get back out here tomorrow and get all the other brackets cut off That way he can start wire wheeling it and getting the thing all cleaned up and get some parts ordered for it, such as the bearings and the seals and all that kind of stuff. All right, new day. I didn't end up filming. I mean, you saw a time lapse cutting the first bracket off, but I ended up not filming because it got pretty cold today. It's like probably about 38 degrees and windy right now, so I kind of just bundled up and knocked this thing out. But I got the rear end flipped over, kind of wire wheeled it. Dad went through and knocked the scaly stuff off, and then got the big wire wheel out and went through and just kind of knocked stuff off of it. All our brackets are off. So I think he's going to, keep cleaning it up a little bit and get all the rust off of it. And we're soaking the backing plate nuts. They're froze on there pretty good, so we're going to take some heat to them and get those off. But there's all our brackets. I know some people, in the past, looking at some old race cars, have left the coil spring control arm brackets and ran those, but we don't want to do all that kind of work, especially with a body on it. With like this, we can get the thing mocked up underneath it, weld some leaf spring perches on it, and be good to go. And we're just leaving the top brackets on it. We're not worried about those. But it turned out pretty nice. Smoothed them out pretty good. You can kind of tell where they were at, but nice and smooth, and it'll be ready for our new mounts to go on. And obviously we're not cleaning this up because it's going bye-bye. So I'm pretty stoked on this. So once he gets it cleaned up, he's going to self-fetch it and just kind of keep it protected, so that way it doesn't want to flash rust or anything. When we take it over to the car, we can mount it up underneath and figure out where everything's going to be, and weld our little perches on for the leaf springs themselves. But that'll be a little on down the road. We'll be addressing some other stuff before, but it's nice to go ahead and get this thing all prepped, blown apart, and getting it all ready for the new stuff to go in it. So that way when we are ready, it's ready just to go up in there, weld the stuff in, get it in place where we like it, pull it back out, paint it, and we're done. So, well, I think we got the hood scoop in the mail today, so we'll probably move on to getting that thing mounted. All right, we just had to toss this thing up here to see how it looked. And it looks like it ought to look pretty cool on there. So it's a really nice replica of the originals. So really, really good quality, whoever the guy is that makes these. Pretty stoked on that. It ought to look cool, painting it black and getting the hole cut and mounting it and making it functional. And obviously we're not sure on positioning. It may come forward just a little bit. So just want to toss it up and get a good view of what she's going to look like. Got her all blocked up on some wood so it sits level. Got all of them loose. Just leaving them on for now. Dad's getting ready to order the rebuild kit for it with new bearings, seals, and all that fun stuff. I think from Fabcraft. So we'll show that stuff when we get it. So we'll just leave all this stuff for now, and then when it gets here, we'll blow this apart, pull the axles out of it, pull the pig out of it, and then be ready for reassembly. All right, well, we decided to self-etch this thing just to kind of protect it, and then we kept working. Got the axles out. As you saw, I heated up those T-bolt nuts to get those off. Now we went ahead and popped the axles out. Those didn't give us any trouble at all.
31 spline.
Yep, there's a 31 spline. So right now I'm buzzing the third member housing nuts off. So probably hit you with another time lapse here of us working this thing out, because I'm sure it'll want to fight us a little bit coming off them studs. cover pulled out. Came out a little bit better than I thought. Wasn't too bad. But here it is. 308 open. So be a good unit for replacing the gears and doing something else with it. But now we're ready to get the fluid out of that thing and start cleaning the inside of it real good and get the old axle seals pulled out as well. All right, we picked us up a transmission yesterday. And how long were you talking to that guy for?
About a week.
About a week. So that's probably why this video's been late, because he's been tracking this thing and trying to get a deal done. And we went and jetted over to Chicago, or up to Chicago yesterday. And we left, 4 o'clock, got up there 8 o'clock and picked it up and got home about, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning. So I didn't really film much of us going over and getting it, but what'd you say the case is?
I think this is 63 to 65.
The cover.
So it doesn't quite match up to the case, which is a 71 case.
And it is an M22, and I'll insert a couple pictures and a video after this of the gears.
You can see. There's the C indicates M22. So this is 1971, and that's the 5th month, so that's May 28th. So May 28th of 1971, and then about 69, I think they started putting A for M20, B for M21, and C for M22. So there's another confirmation that it is an M22. And then here is the random VIN of whatever the heck car it came out of.
Cool. And he was nice enough to throw in, he let us pick out a shifter. So we got this cool hearse that's angled more towards the driver, probably from an old, center console car. And gave us this with it as well. So got a pretty good deal. So we're pretty stoked. So like I said, I'll insert a video of the gears and so you guys can see what those look like, and I'll maybe do a voiceover and point out the difference between the 20 and 21 helical gears compared to the spur cut 22 gears. This is the video the guy we got it off of sent us, showing us the ears. None of them are cracked or broke, obviously. And you can also see the 1-inch counter shaft there compared to the 7/8 inch that the M20 had. And you can see they're clearly M22 gears, which are the thicker gears, and they're spur cut. And they have, I think they're either a 22 or 25 degree cut compared to the helical, which are drastically different and a lot thinner of a gear. Also, you can clearly see the teeth are thicker on the counter shaft down there as well, a lot beefier. And you can see the blocking rings and the synchros are in really good shape. So the thing may have been rebuilt at one point, being that it has a different tail shaft and whatnot. Someone probably, threw some things together and put a rebuild kit, basically, is what it looks like, especially in person. It looks really clean. So basically this thing is ready. Well, actually you can see the fluid down there is really clean in it too. So someone probably took care of it. And you can see how, really just see how clean everything is in there. It's nice. There's your reverse gear. And everything just spins super smooth and super free. So we couldn't have asked for a better deal. Worked out great. And there's a shifter mount and a driver's side speedo. And it's got a yoke in it. And he rolls it over here to show off some of the numbers that we had kind of previously went over in the last clip. And there you can see the drain plug as well. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the stuff on the M22 we got for this, as well as that 9.3. I was going to do a voiceover on some cool old pictures and a lot of information on those 9.3s from a book my dad has, but it would just make this video go on too long. So when we get that rear end rebuilt and painted, I'll probably do that then and include that and kind of make that a whole video in itself. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. It really helps the channel out and helps the videos out and helps them get out to more people to see what we're doing with this stuff, since the gasser stuff seems to be so popular. I think in the next one, we're going to address a couple more things we didn't finish on the bumper. We got some engine mounts, and we got the hydraulic ram replaced on our hoist, so we may potentially be getting the engine and trans and bell housing and stuff all over here to start potentially getting ready for mock-up. I'd like to address the tilt front end first, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one.